this is going to be, I'll show you when I'm done, alright? Okay, here. Let your levels on. My son gets an allotted amount of time to play the video game each day, so it is not my babysitter. He loves to play it, and he would play it all day, every day, if he was given the choice. But he does not have that choice. I think education, learning things in between, is super important. So that's going together really easy. So what I did was I took and went A, pivot to B, pivot to A. Then we go to the next one, which is the Microgarden setup here. So these are supposed to grow microgreens. I'm sure you could grow whatever you want, but the distance here, obviously, it's not going to give you a lot of room for packing a lot in here. So this is the way this one comes. This comes apart, it seems like. We're not going to mess with it. We have A, so we are going to go to B, which is right here. Let me make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself here. We got 1, 2, 3. It would seem like I need one more of these. Oh, I was getting ahead of myself. Ignore that last step that I almost messed up. That's what happens when I don't start reading through the instructions correctly. So the last step will be the last piece that matches up obviously with this. I ended on A, that means I go to B. B is right here. Sets down in. We'll go ahead and lower the whole thing down. Nice. Pretty solid. So, the next step. Okay. So then we have, these are the 23 inches that I put in already, and these are 15 inches. What they have is a nut that is female on both ends, so that this comes screwed in. You take these, it looks like, and you screw them down on top of the existing one. I didn't see anything regarding a washer for that. It just says screw it straight onto the pole itself. So seems to be high quality parts. There's no issue of them coming together. It's all solid, working well. The next step, which is going to be step 6, again, we will then put the microgreen on top, and it is indicating that I want to go through. It is not giving me a specification as to A or B, but since we've already gone with B, we're going to go ahead and flip to A, just to follow suit with the rest of the instructions, if it allows me to do that, which it may not. Okay, so it's looking like there actually is only one option here, and the tower, inside the tower itself, there's actually a flanged piece here that comes up on both sides, and that is looking like that's where you're going to slide it through. We shall see here in a moment. Yep, that's it, and then it comes through the top piece.
Is it finished?
Not yet, buddy. It's getting there.
When is it finished?
When I'm done, it just takes a little bit, okay?
What? I don't know.
It doesn't seem to fit right. I don't think that is right. So, perhaps I slid it wrong. It looks like maybe there's only one way this can go to match up with the way it's set up. just making it more difficult than it needed to be. So there's a flange here that it's wanting to match up with. So that makes it only possible to go on one way, it looks like. Yep. Nope, it's not looking either. So we will carry on here. A. Maybe that's the issue. Hopefully, if you run into this issue, you'll be able to see me painfully work through this. It doesn't seem to be wanting to click into place right. I'm obviously doing something wrong as to what that is. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a little flange here, and then a solid piece, and then a flange, and that's the way it is on here, where it meets up with this. So I have to make sure that these match up with these in order for these to match up with these. So this would seem to be the right way right here, if it clicks down in it, which it seems to. Yeah, so that seems to be it right there. That's the only possible way. So the only thing I'm finding a little bit of issue with is the way this sets down here. As long as it, there we go. It's got to give a little bit of pressure, I guess. Usually the old adage is if it doesn't fit, don't force it. But it, to me, seems like that just needs a little bit of pressure to get it to fit down on there, right? And then we'll take this. Okay. And that's where that kind of fits together nice and tight. These all fit together in the flanges, and then this does come through B here. So these poles, metal poles are tight, turned tight. This is all on here good. The only area I'm finding a little bit of give back is right here on this top piece. Just because it doesn't seem to want to fit down completely settled on that piece, but we'll see. So, then the last step is telling me there is a tray, which is going to be this. There's only 2 holes that it can fit in. There we are. I appreciate everybody's patience. That was a little bit trying for the moment. This doesn't show any washers at the top. Only wing nuts. So that's step 6.
I'm gonna put it in the lava. I'm gonna put Dodger in lava.
Are ya? You gonna win?
Dodger's coming.
Uh-oh. Watch out for that Bowser.
It's the same Bowser! It's the same Bowser!
Doesn't tell you, doesn't say how tight to tighten it. Obviously, we don't want to reef on it and mess it up. But again, everything seems to be coming together fairly well. I'm wondering, there we are. This is some pretty solid plastic. At this point, the whole thing is now solid. Next step is telling me to get the little pods. So oh, I see. Okay, here they are.
I got it.
So,
Lava.
very good job, my son.
There it goes.
Yeah, show them. Okay, so these
Furnace.
are the little
Jelly.
precast trays that hold the rock wool or the cocoa core, depending on. It comes with cocoa core, from my understanding. But let me. No, it comes with rock wool. I'm so sorry. It comes with rock wool, but you can order cocoa core from True Garden. So these
I can't bow drinking.
can only go in one way. They're flanged here, and let's see how this works. They just pop in there. Oh, okay, so they kind of mold. They mold to the shape as soon as you put it in, I guess, is the trick. So then each one, so it's a little bit of a flexible plastic. It kind of sets in there. You want to be careful. I think I just broke a piece of it. So although these are fairly strong, you don't want to push on too hard because they will break a little bit. One at a time. Very nicely, as you can see, I'm able to, before even tightening the base, I'm able to shift the whole thing just by holding one piece.
I can't bow drinking lava again.
Very good job, my son. Here we are.
He's back. Back.
Tells me to do this with each one.
Daddy, he's back.
Oh no. Well, you better.
Is it finished?
No, not yet. I'll show you when it's finished. I'll let you know, buddy.
Okay.
I love you. Here we are. Beautiful. One of the super big perks, I think, is that I'm going to find with this is not only, of course, am I going to enjoy having the ability to have a little bit of freedom from being dependent on the system. You know, obviously this isn't going to free me up completely by no means, but it'll give me produce that is fresh, that has no pesticides, that doesn't have to drive 1,200 miles from point A to point B, being sprayed with pesticides through different states, and then loses half its nutritional value in between. So here we are, just continuing on. It also gives me the opportunity to help my son learn how things grow, although he does know about gardening a little bit from outside gardening that we do, but this will give me an opportunity, and I would like to get him super interested in eating greens from a young age, because right now he does not like greens very much. So we will continue to finish this up here, and they gave us a lot of pods, so these are all filled up here. Now, when it comes to the square pods, it's not giving me information so far about that. So, here we go. That was step 7. Not yet, it's getting there, buddy. So step 8 is going to be putting the, oh, I see. So then it also gives me a little plastic tube that has different measurements on it, and it's got a little screw in, and then we have the float itself, and the instructions say to just screw it in. Obviously you want to be careful and not cross thread it, because we all know that that causes problems. And here we are. I would say just kind of tighten it down to finger tighten. This tells us to go ahead and lift the tower from the base. It then tells us my apologies. we leave the tower on. There we go. I like how easy this thing goes together. So there's a hole in here that it tells you to push this through. Okay, that's a really simple setup, and that's really smart. One of the reasons that I like this so much, not yet, buddy.
I want to finish.
When I was looking at gardens to buy, don't pull those out, okay? Yeah, just checking them for me. Thank you. One of my decisions when I was buying this is, you know, do I want something that's super fancy and high tech, which can be done off my phone, which would be the garden, and it has 3 tiers and it's a vertical setup. But everything's automated, and if you have power failure, you're going to have a lot more difficult time keeping that system running and keeping your plants alive. Versus this one, which is low tech, you don't have the information on a phone, you don't have any of that stuff, but it's very basic. It's got a float that just sits in here, goes up and down, it tells you when the water's full, when it's empty. It's got 2 plugs, one for the timer, one for the pump. Very simple. You fill the water, the pump tells you when to fill it, or the float tells you when to fill it, and then it's on a timer, and every, I believe, 15 minutes, it will pump the water up, and it will flow down. And it's just a very simple setup, quite efficient in my mind. So I chose to go with this one because of that reason. Step 9 tells us to go ahead and grab the pieces here, which we now have 3 bolts, 3 wing nuts, 2 extra washers. I may have needed to put those at the top. That's fixable. So we have these, and it says the wing nuts go to the bottom, so these just slide in like so. 1, 2, 3. Stagger them out. Yep, there we go. It does have, oh, okay. So these other ones are just set up for the cage that comes that you can buy. It's an extra accessory that sets down in here and it goes around the outside of this. So you only have 3 holes, 3 bolts, 3 wing nuts. Very simple. Phillips head for tightening, which I will do at a later point, not to bore you. The weight. You can finger tighten these and they seem to be fine. As long as you don't overfill the reservoir, I can't see that there's going to be any leakage. This thing is definitely solid on the way it tightens.
It's done.
It's getting there, buddy. I'll let you know when it's finished, okay? There we go. All right. So we have the plug, we have the float, we have the base reservoir screwed together with 3 bolts and wing nuts. We have the tower that's put together with 2 steel rods, with 2 more steel rods that fit into those, topped off with 2 wing nuts, with the pods that go in the side here. And then from that point we go on to step 10. Step 10 is going to be set this aside and push this over here so that we can.
Is it done?
It's getting there, buddy. I'll let you know in a minute.
What is in here?
That's going to be water. Hold on. So the next step is going to be we take the lights, which are here, and this comes in a nice little setup. You have the opportunity to buy this piece separate and then the lights, or you can buy the entire home setup that comes with the lights. These are really neat. They're LEDs that have a lifespan, from my understanding, of 25 to 30,000 hours each, which, understanding technology and how far it's come, is pretty astounding. The lumens that are required for, hey, please don't do that. Thank you. The lumens that are required for growing are in the specific spectrum and desired need for the plants. They've dialed these in very well. There we go. Very, very streamlined and efficient. They come with plastic here. I'm not quite certain what this is just yet. Seems to be, it's got double-sided Velcro, which also has double-sided tape. We'll figure that out in a minute. Oh, okay. They packaged this very well, avoiding damage to the parts. They come with big sleeves and big crates, which is can be. I think this could actually be used for plants as well if you're doing some outdoor growing. No, not yet. It's not finished yet. It will be. I'll let you know. No, don't touch them. These are lights, and they're very delicate. Okay. Thank you.
I'll get down there.
You will get them, won't you? You have 5 more minutes on there, okay?
Why?
Because you only get a little bit of time to play.
Why do I have to get a little bit of time?
Because it's not good for your little brain to keep playing all day, Tristan. Okay. So, here we go. This here is the timer built in.
Okay.
These are the lights that are flexible, a really unique design, and very heavy duty. We put a lot of thought into this. This is very incredible. Okay, so here we are. We'll slide this box out of the way. You can play with that if you want.
These?
Yes, you may play with that. So this sits on top of here. I don't see any specific way. It just kind of seems to fit in and set down on top. Oh wait, you know what? Before I do that, I think there is something I'm missing, because we don't want to mix that. I thought there was a top piece that went to this. I might be incorrect. Let me check my instructions again. Nope, it just sits right on top. There's the cap. Okay, so what it is there is a lid that does go with this, and it's sitting over there. The lid goes on top if you're doing this outdoors, so that the sun is obviously giving the light it needs. Now, because we are putting these lights on, we remove the lid, which we didn't put on in the first place. This does sit right in here, very, very smoothly, right on top. Everything seals. We have our lights switched in. Easily plug in. There's only one way these can go in. They set up and they click together. Wow, that is very simple, and it's a solid fit. It looks like if you want to take them apart, you just press these in. Hey, please stop doing that, please. They fit together very well, and then you can easily take them apart. We also, so we'll do that times 4. push in,
What?
and here we go again.
Is it finished?
It's getting there, son.
It's finished now?
I'll let you know when it's finished.
Okay.
I remember when we were on road trips with my parents. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Wouldn't trade it for the world. There
I'll
we
get
go.
him.
So the one thing that you do need to do is these obviously shine one way. So you want to direct the flat piece, and I'll show you on the camera real quick.
Goodbye!
So they have ridges, and then they have the light. So this blocks the light from shining through.
No, he burned my birthday. There's a wall without that.
Fourth one. Clicks in.
What? Is it finished?
Almost.
When
Okay.
is it finished?
So
When is it finished?
yeah, I'll let you know when it's finished, Tristan. So it
I
looks
can't
like
fight it off.
the way that what they've done is they've given instead of taking up two of your outlets, they have given us a plug that's kind of like a little adapter